Winston and Ben from Parkway Drive, who, I mean, heavy metal, almost death metal. It's like it's real music.
Yeah.
Put it that way. It's
Real
like
music.
There's the real music coming through. But the guys are from Byron, right? Which is one of the most chilled places on earth.
Yeah.
So how do you get this kind of like? It's not an anger, it's not fury. There's some serious stuff, but to get a market around there when there's people cruising around eating their healthy vegan food and everything's going on, how do you come out of Byron to sound like this?
You kind of don't. You have to make it yourself.
Yeah.
So to start with, it was just like putting on our own gigs and like, yeah, doing what we can to play shows. We're definitely not strangers to traveling to play.
Yeah,
put it
yeah.
that way. So it just you'd go to Brizzy, you'd go to wherever would have you play. And
Brisbane would be a market for
there
it.
you go.
Surely.
Yeah.
As far as the heavy music side and the anger side, it's not so much
It's not anger. It's not anger at all.
Yeah,
but
more-
no, I was
more-
listening to them. Yeah.
more energy from surfing. Because we all grew up surfing and watching surf movies and stuff like that, and it's just, I don't know, that's the thing.
Most Radio Birdman type kind of like, you know, sort of influence. Like really like the real music, energy coming through. Even the Midnight Oils were
definitely.
like,
yeah, it's more, like you said, like it's more of the energy as opposed to just the raw aggression.
Yeah. There's still a darkness to some of this material. There's still no answers. So, I guess, would you say that if you're going to choose to play real music, no offense to other musicians, but it's kind of like, there is a chance to put, you relate to people who face these really confronting questions in life.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Yeah.
And I think there's some pretty universal themes which humans have, and that is a sense of, I guess, loss in some respect or form.
Yeah.
Like, we all don't know what happens when we die.
Yeah.
We all know that it's going to happen one day. Everyone feels fear, everyone feels pain. So these don't have to be necessarily super dark subjects, but they are definitely something that sits in people's minds. So I find it resonates with everyone in some way or form, some deeper than others. Yeah.
When I first listened to the album, it really did sound, I'm not saying this for the purpose of the interview, like Metallica at their peak. Like it was just this like, but there was like some of the time change stuff coming through is really intricate stuff that people still doing coming through, where you can actually like listen to a track and go, my God, the whole thing was a journey.
Journey side of it, because that's what people seem to say a lot, but we don't really know the formula, but we seem to be the kind of heavy band that can cross over. A lot of people say to us they don't listen to any other heavy bands, but they don't mind listening to us. And it's kind of a weird thing, because we are really heavy and we don't really know what it is. Maybe the riffs we have are a bit more melodic or a bit more catchy or something, but it's something that we don't really know the formula to, but we just write songs the way we like it, and it's kind of, it has that feel.
Are there pockets where the sound is still in demand? Like
it's still growing overseas. Like we haven't gone backwards in any way, shape or form. It's really crazy. We just did the tour before this 1 month ago was in Europe, and it was like the last tour for this record cycle, which should be the smallest, and it was by far the biggest tour we've ever done overseas. It was just really shocking.
Not what we expected.
We kind of rocked up expecting to limp through, going, last one we can do on this because people are going to be sick of the songs, and like so many sold out shows, way bigger venues than we played. I'm like, what the hell's happening? Why do they still want us?
How does the voice hold up?
With luck? No,
I mean,
no, it's it holds up fine, which is really lucky, because when we first started playing, I couldn't do this to save my life. I'd go to jam and we'd practice one day, and the next day I couldn't talk for 3 days, kind of thing. We couldn't play more than 2 shows in a row.
And that tour just was 28 shows in 28 days, not one day off. Yeah. And some of the drives the drives don't really matter because we're in a bus, we just wake up in a different country, but yeah, for me and him, it's probably the hardest, because if the guitarists are tired, they can just stand there.
Stand still and
I still got to go and make it sound, and he's still got to hit the exact same thing every single month.
So, every night.
Yeah.
Well, especially like in your sound, people come for a really energetic release.
That's the thing. And he can't slack off and go, well, I'm not going to hit it as hard, because it doesn't work that way. And he can't hit half as many things, and I can't I can't produce this sound without going pretty crazy. So it's
something like going off to watch Ben Harper or something.
There we go, exactly. Yeah, you're not going to rock up and go, we're playing an acoustic set, guys. It's just going to be tambourine and someone sitting there doing spoken words. So it doesn't really work.
Now I wanted to meet Luke, who's busy playing table tennis.
Luckily.
Yeah.
Luckily.
He was, how long was he out for? And it was a surfing accident. He was in a wheelchair for a while. If you go and read some of the stuff.
Accident. We're still dubious on that.
Okay, because it's very hard to get in a wheelchair off the surfing.
Yeah, that's what we thought when we got the call. So he was out for
two tours, about.
It's almost 6 months. It was 2 tours.
No, it was like, I don't know, 8 weeks or something.
Did we go straight on?
Yeah, he did it the day before we left for an Australian tour.
Literally the day before.
We were just about to leave and he called us up and said, this is what happened. There was no time to think about getting a replacement guitarist or anything else, so he just said, I guess it's going to be either me standing there, not moving, which would be really boring, or being funny in a wheelchair, so that's what he did.
Yeah, so it's like a Spinal Tap moment.
It was, yeah. And the weird thing was, we were like, he'll just sit there on stage. And we started driving to the gig. This is the day after I got diagnosed, and my mum's a nurse. And I'm like, I've got a wheelchair. And I'm like, yeah, I'll try. And like, mum's working at the hospital, we'll go see. And pull in, and mum's like, there's a wheelchair, take that. And we took that, and then we took the wheelchair around the world. So, yeah.
The last European tour we did, we went back. That was the first one we did since he was in a wheelchair last time. And there were people saying, Where's the wheelchair man? Where is he? So it's almost, we're thinking about having the permanent thing.
Yeah. I'm sure we made enough fans on a bunch of festivals that we played with him in the wheelchair that people probably think that's a permanent thing. Yeah. They think, yeah, there's a guy in a wheelchair playing guitar, and they came back and they're like, yeah.
And the album Deep Blues, though, if you're watching this and you're going, these guys seem like cool guys, and you're interested in hearing something that will smash you over the head. There is, the album has real meaning. We touched on it before.
Like I said, pretty universal theme.
Yeah.
But it was weird. The idea when I wrote it was to write a story that you could follow from start to finish. And the idea was to...
So it doesn't happen a lot anymore.
Yeah, which was weird. Like, I was just like, it was just a different way to write it. I thought it'd be a challenge to try and write something that worked in that fashion. And at the same time, it would be good because I could distance myself from it. I could write from a character's perspective. And I wrote this record trying to write from a character's perspective just to be detached, and then I came back and looked at it and I was like, there's so much more of me in this record than there is in anything else I wrote, which is kind of weird. I guess it speaks for the content of what we tried to put in there.
Thanks for chatting to us, man.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, cool. Hope you've had a good Groovin The Moo.
Groovin The Moo.
Parkway Drive.